Now that it's February and Valentine's Day just passed, I think it's important to spend this month with someone special to you. So yes, I'm going to be using Valentine's Day as an excuse to talk about my fictional crushes. Because who needs real men when you have pixels on the screen, am I right? So, hi, I'm Himaru or Himena, and I am an ordinary girl obsessed with fictional characters. Real people? Nah. Fictional characters, on the other hand, I think yes. Starting off strong, on my list I have 707 from Mystic Messenger. Anyone remember that game? I used to be so obsessed with it. Actually, the only reason I started playing Mystic Messenger was because of 7. I thought his design was the most unique out of all the characters, and I loved his personality. He's very silly and is your typical jokester. However, before playing, I had no idea he had a tragic backstory, but that's okay. I like my men with a bit of baggage, that's fine. Honestly, I enjoyed going through every character's route, so even though I only played for 7, I stayed for the rest of them. Kinda. 7 holds a special place in my heart, especially this line.
전화는 이제 그만. 내 눈 보고 직접 말해줘요. 오늘도 사랑한다고요.
Anyways, Demon Slayer, huh? Mitsuri? Uzui? I think yes. But I won't lie, for some reason when I first watched Demon Slayer, I actually didn't like Mitsuri. But my opinion changed once I read the manga, okay? She is now my Sheila, she's the cutest, plus she's super strong. I love a woman who could beat the shit out of me. She is such a queen. And I may or may not have a body pillow of her. Also, Uzui Tengen? I always found him attractive, but when I watched season 2, I was blown away. He was just so cool, plus he comes in a package deal. So... Please Uzui, let me be your 4th wife. One chance is all I need, I swear. Next up, Taro Kabakura from Watakoi. Before watching it, I had no idea what the characters were like, but once I watched it, oh my, I fell in love with Kabakura's personality. On the outside, he seems cold-blooded, but when he's alone with Hanako, we can see how much he really cares for her. And even though he gets annoyed when Hanako asks him to do something involving yaoi, he still does it in the end, and we love that. And since we're on the topic of couples, I want to get it out there that they were definitely my favorite couple in my opinion. No hate to the main couple, of course, but I just enjoyed their dynamic way more. Plus, my girl Hanako is also a baddie, so I love her as well. At this point, I don't just want one of them. I need both of them. Now I'm going to be talking about my crushes from when I was younger. Starting off with Helia from Winx Club. You can't tell me he wasn't one of the best specialists. He is so pretty and caring, plus he was an artist just like me, so we already had so much in common. The thing that stood out to me the most though was definitely his long hair. I was never really interested in guys with long hair, but Helia changed that. But then in later seasons they changed his hairstyle. I mean, he still had long hair, but the bangs though? That's a no from me. I preferred his old look. And then to find out that he wasn't even in the reboot. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe it was for the best. In all honesty, he might show up in later seasons, and all I have to say is, I'm scared. Lev Haiba from Haikyuu was also one of my favorites. I liked how tall he was, but despite his height advantage, he still lacked volleyball experience. He's also quite playful and childish, for example when he makes fun of Hinata for his height. Can't relate. Also, when I say he's tall, I mean he's tall. To be exact, he's around 6'5", which, holy, I had no idea he was so tall. Also, to make things even better, in the post-time skip, he's actually working as a model along with his sister Alyssa. So, extra points for that. Another silver-haired guy who caught my attention would be Inumaki from Jujutsu Kaisen. He starts off kinda silly since he only speaks in rice ball ingredients, but once he uses his cursed speech technique, it's over. I have yet to watch season 3, but I've already heard so many good things about it, so I should really get to watching it. Also from Jujutsu Kaisen, Nanami? I miss him. Moving on, in My Hero Academia, Kaminari and Hawks, my favorite blondes. Like I've mentioned before, I love the silly characters, and they're both pretty silly. And in Hawks' case, he's silly, but he also knows when to lock the fuck in. I remember when the first episode in which Hawks first appeared aired, There were so many edits of him going around that my whole My Hero folder was full of Hawks edits. Which, hey, I'm not complaining. Kaminari also knows when to lock in, he's just not as serious and he lets it be known when he's afraid. Which I would be too if I was against Shigaraki and All for One. And I will say I was so happy to see him playing a pretty important role throughout the final seasons. He finally got the recognition he deserved. And last but not least, one of my current faves, Zanka from Gachi. He is such a funny character and his design is peak. But then again, every character design in Gachi is amazing. However, I think one of the things I like about his character is the fact that he's so imperfect. While he is strong, he still has room to improve, and I personally found it interesting that in his and Jabber's fight, when it shows us that Zanka gets back up to keep fighting after getting poisoned, that it was actually all just in his imagination. Which I found surprising since I feel like most animes would go through with that and let the character get back up and beat the enemy. But that didn't happen, and I actually liked that. Also, in the beginning when he's first introduced and is seen running away from Ruto with the plunger, oh my gosh, he is such a loser and I love that. That's all I have for now. I didn't mention many girls, but trust me, I can make another video talking about more of my lady crushes. I wanted to post this video before Valentine's, but clearly that didn't happen. I want to try posting more often, but I can't make any promises since I'm still in school. But I'll try. Thank you so much for watching, and other than that, until next time.